All right, AJ, can you hear us?
I got you.
All right, thank you for joining us this Wednesday. Before we get started, just obviously you are the defending race winner heading into Atlanta for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race, but just take us back to last year to that event and kind of what that win meant to you.
Yeah, it was it was a little bit unexpected. We hadn't actually planned on running Atlanta, and then after the pandemic, Matt Collig wanted us to run more races, and he told me to choose a few tracks, him and Chris Rice, and I said, well, I think Bristol would be fun, and so we went and raced there the week prior just to kind of get back in the flow of things, and had a strong race there. I thought we actually had a shot to win that race and cut down a tire, but I always thought Atlanta was one of the most fun 1.5 mile racetracks that we race at, just for all the reasons everybody talks about, how slick it is and the pavement and how you really have to drive the race cars. So I'd had some success there in the Cup Series and thought, why don't we try that? And, really just not racing full time and knowing that we could kind of take the stages as they come just gave me time to learn the racetrack, what it was like to drive an Xfinity car around it. And we had a really fast Chevy that day. And once we got up front, that last, I think, 35 laps or whatever it was, I just tried to hit my marks every lap and prayed for no yellows. And once we crossed the line, it was, just really special to finally get that first oval win at a place like Atlanta, where you really just, it's such a fun racetrack. And as a race car driver, you have to be almost pinpoint accurate every lap around that place. So it's just cool to win a race, win really the first non-super speedway and road course race for Collig Racing, and just slightly unexpected, but we'll cherish it for the rest of my life.
All right, and we'll now go to questions for AJ. If you have a question, friendly reminder, you can raise your hand within the Zoom platform or send us a message in the chat, and we'll monitor that area as well. To kick us off, we are going to start with Bob Pockrist. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, AJ, how much do you think that win contributed to the fact that you're full-time this year?
Good question, Bob. I think that'd probably be a better question for Matt Collig, Chris Rice. I don't know if it had a lot to do with it, but I've always felt in my heart that I can go out there at any type of racetrack in the right situation and run up front and have a shot to win. I knew the stigma behind me of never winning on an oval, but I felt like just in the right situation that I could go win on an oval. So maybe it helped. Maybe it showed Chris Rice and Matt Collig that, with the right race cars, we can go win anywhere. So that's a hard question for me to answer outright, but it definitely didn't hurt. Let's put it that way, Bob.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Marty Kazala. Go ahead, Marty.
Thanks, Amanda, and good try. It's actually Sakala next time for future
reference.
Oh,
thank you. Okay.
AJ, thanks for your time. Hope you're well, man. Tire wear is going to be a factor with how abrasive this track surface is. I'm not a driver, obviously, but doing some iRacing tests, drivers could possibly be slipping and sliding. How do you manage tires going into this weekend?
Well, Marty, there's no possible about it. We are going to be slipping and sliding from the first lap. That's what makes the place so fun is you roll down in turn 1 on the initial start, and by turn 3, you're asking them you get some more tires because that's the way the racetrack is. But that, as a race car driver, at least for me, it makes it so much fun, and you have to be sideways to be fast. Honestly, last year, I didn't realize how loose I was till I went back and watched the race. Everybody was like, man, you were sideways. I was like, nah, it was all right. And then I went and watched the race, and I was like, wow, yeah, I was quite sideways. So that's always part of Atlanta. In the Xfinity Series, what makes it difficult is, I think, if you count what we start on, we only get 5 full sets of tires. So if you break it down, you only have 2 sets of tires for the final stage if you don't use anything during the other stages that you're not supposed to. So strategy almost makes it easier. But yeah, if you have a problem early in the race, it definitely puts you behind on tires.
Thanks for your time, AJ. Go have some fun this weekend. Good luck.
Thank you, man.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Jordan Bianchi. Go ahead, Jordan.
Hey, AJ, appreciate your time. Have you ran the Daytona Road Course in the Cup Series? Any more races planned in Cup right now, or are you still looking at that?
Hey Jordan. Yeah, I mean, that's, you probably asked Chris Rice that question mostly, and Matt Collig. You know, I believe that we're focusing on going to Coda and doing most of the road courses this year in the Cup Series, but you know, plans can change, and the full focus is the Xfinity Series, and trying to run up front every weekend and keep getting better and try to contend for the championship. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the plan, but probably a better question for Chris Rice.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question will come from Kelvin with RSN Trackside. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, AJ, for taking some time out. Now that it's been a full year come around since your win at Atlanta in the pandemic, I can't remember if it was you that said it, but Colleague Racing probably wasn't at this point last year to be a championship caliber team. But starting off the year, Colleague Racing has been really performing really well. How much input has that? How great has that been, and how has the team changed in the year since your win last year in Atlanta?
Yeah, Kelvin, I think it's just it's a process, right? I mean, where every year the team continually gets better. I give so much credit to Justin Haley, because since he's got here in 2019 as the full-time driver, I mean, he makes the organization step up and get better at every type of racetrack. And then hopefully with my input at the races that I've been able to do over the last couple of years, that's really allowed the team to further move ahead. And with Jeb Burton now, I mean, he's fitting in perfect. I mean, we've seen the start to his year. Every race he's finished inside the top 10. So he knows how to get the race car to the end of the race, and he's strongest at the end of the race. So I think we'll just keep getting better, but for sure, you know, since I've gotten here, it's the addition of our own engineers and doing our own setups and focusing on what we want inside the race cars has been a big factor. But every aspect of the race team, whether it's the aero side of the team, the engineering side of the team, just getting the right people in the right places, I mean, it gets better. So, you know, if I look the start of the year, we have a lot of speed, and we continually will keep pushing. The 22 car and Austin Cindric, Team Penske, there's no doubt they're the team to beat, and they're on it every weekend. So we still have gains to make to be there every weekend at every type of racetrack. But I love where we're at, and I love where we're headed. And that's what's the most important thing is especially on the 16 car, getting that win. We know we're in the playoffs, and it's about getting stronger. So when we get to the playoffs, that we're at our strongest point and we can really contend for this championship.
Thanks, AJ. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Jenna Fryer. Go ahead, Jenna.
Hey, AJ, since you brought up Austin, I'm wondering, you know, what's the 22 got over everybody else?
Well, I mean, Jenna, I think they just got experience, right? Like, I mean, Team Penske's, there's nothing to say about Team Penske except like in every form of racing, they're absolutely badass. So we know what we're up against, and they continually just get better. And I mean, he's the champion, and the 22 team's the champion for a reason. They're the best team out there right now. So even though they're a single car team, I mean, they have all the resources, they have all the knowledge. These cars haven't changed a lot over the last couple of years. So all their notes and notebook is just really thick of great info, and Austin's on his game. So I think it's just as our organization, I mean, I kind of joked about this in the team meeting yesterday. It's like our expectations get so high because we've been so good to start the year, but we still have to realize, like, I mean, we're still fairly new to this. I mean, this is the 6th year, and there's going to be up and down weeks. And there's certain racetracks that this team hasn't been great at that we have to get better at. Phoenix is one of them. And I thought Justin Haley, especially, and Jeb, I struggled all day on Saturday, but both those cars were really quick. They were top 5 cars, but the 22 car was the car to beat for sure. So was the 7 as well. But it's just experience. We got to keep getting better. We will get there, but you know, their box of being off is really big right now. So even when they're a little bit off, it's a top 3, top 4 car. Our box is a little bit smaller when we're off. So we got to widen that box, but we got plenty of time this year to do that.
Thanks, AJ.
Thank you, John.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Michael Shelton. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you very much. Well, AJ, yes, it is early in the season, but still, you're already talking about playoffs and contending in the Xfinity Series as compared to when you were in the Cup Series and you were driving hard, but you still were kind of trying to just keep up with the Joneses of the Penske's and the other bigger teams. So it's just, what is your mindset like right now, driving for Kaulig in the Xfinity Series and talking about playoffs and contending, where as compared to the times where you were in the Cup car and trying to earn your stripes there?
Yeah, Mike, I mean, it's part of it. Part of the reason of going full-time racing with Kaulig Racing was the fact that I knew that potentially we'd have a shot to go after a championship. I knew we had to keep improving, and that's what we're all working hard to do. But at the end of the day, if we get it right, we can be part of that championship 4 at Phoenix. I mean, I really think we could have 3 of the cars in there if we do our job. So, but that's not easy to do. There's a lot of competition, especially this year in the Xfinity Series. But my mindset's really just about trying to enjoy every weekend. There's certain racetracks, Phoenix, for example, that I hadn't been to in 3 years and really haven't ever been to an Xfinity car, or it's been 12 years. So there's certain tracks like that where it's going to take me time, and not say I'm a rookie, but, really have to say, okay, I got to have different goals and throughout the first couple of stages, relearn this racetrack and what this car needs. So, there's certain places like that there's different goals for sure. But yeah, at the end of the day, I really believe we can go win a championship if we get everything right. But that's a long process to get there. We have a lot of races to get there. As I said, to get the win and okay, have that monkey off the back and a little bit of that pressure off, knowing that we've already got a win. We're locked in. We know that we can go win. It's a big deal, but yeah, it's a fun mindset. But really, my mindset is not already like, okay, I'm focused on the championship. My mindset is I'm just enjoying every weekend. I'm enjoying being at the racetrack with all the men and women at Kaulig Racing, being at the shop, working with my teammates, with Justin and Jeb. It's just fun. And I love that. And championship is the back of my mind, like that's the focus, but just enjoy every weekend, because as I said in my my victory lane speech at the front straightaway there at Vegas, heck, I don't know when the next time will be, if ever. So enjoy it now.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next question will come from Dustin Albino. Go ahead, Dustin.
Hey, AJ, you mentioned how you were off at Phoenix. Collectively, how concerning is that, knowing that it is the championship race if you get there?
I'm not concerned with it at all, Dustin. Quite frankly, part of mine was I hadn't been there in a while, and definitely hadn't been there with the PJ1. So we know the 22 is really fast. We know the 7 is going to be really fast there. But there's a lot of time and a lot of races in between now, and hopefully when we get to Phoenix and hopefully be in that championship 4. So it's not concerning. We know from where we are now to where that race is, there's a lot of gains to be made, and we're working hard on that. So it's just about collecting notes, collecting the data for it, and hopefully when we get back there, hopefully it means something, and we'll focus on that then. So right now, the concern is about getting better every weekend and trying to build up some playoff points, and more importantly, trying to make it to Phoenix and have something on the line there.
Thank you, AJ.
Thank you, man.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Ashley McCubbin. Go ahead, Ashley.
Hey, AJ, thank you for your time today. Past years, we've seen the big 3 kind of emerge. So you have 3 main competitors for the championship for the season. Do you see that happening this year now that we're a couple races in? Or is it going to stay relatively close as far as competition-wise is concerned?
Hey, Ashley. Yeah, I think it's going to be more competitive. I don't think you're going to just see those 2 or 3 drivers go out there and kind of separate themselves from the rest of the group. I do believe, as we speak right now today, it's the 22 car, Austin Cindric, and then the rest of us in the next couple of groups. So he's the championship 1 that we're all chasing after. But you look at JGR, between Hemrick and Brandon Jones and Harrison. You look at all the junior motorsports cars, they've been quick. They just had a lot of issues. As I said, I think our 3 cars can be very strong as the year goes on. So, and on down the line, I don't want to really leave anybody out. So I think you can have a big group of drivers that are battling every weekend, going for wins and trying to like separate themselves from the pack that may never during the year, but it's definitely a couple of groups, but that 22 car is the one we're all chasing after right now.
And knowing that you guys have put the 16 in the playoffs, how much pressure is that off your shoulders? And knowing you've got the rest of the year to get better and improve, as you say, to reach the level of the 22 and others?
You know, I mean, actually, like it's not the pressure of, okay, we're locked in the playoffs. At least for me, it was just like getting that, okay, we've got to win early. And we can do it. We've shown that we have the speed and we can execute and make it happen. So it really had nothing to do with the playoffs. I think that was just a bonus factor of winning the race. But it was more knowing that we had the speed and that we put it all together and we were able to go out there and win a race gives us more confidence than anything.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take one final question, and that question will go to Anton. Go ahead, Anton.
Thanks, Amanda. Good morning, AJ. So Atlanta has a special place in your heart for sure after you've won your first NASCAR race on an oval there. How has that win changed you as a driver and as a person?
Good question, Anton. I think it's like I had the confidence in me, as I said previously, to win on any type of racetrack, but until you do it, it's hard to like feel like, okay, you know, it can happen. So to win there and the way it happened of just, you know, putting a third car out there and not really expecting it gave me a lot of confidence. And I felt like we had a shot to win a few different ovals last year. Daytona, we were leading going to the last corner. Martinsville, battling for the lead and cut down a tire in a couple of different places. So I think that gave me the confidence and really made me like think about, okay, I do want to do this full time because I can have fun at every type of racetrack because we have the cars that can go out there and win. More than anything, I think it just made me a little bit more at ease going to these places because it's like I have the confidence. Like it's like that question isn't there anymore. Like, okay, will he ever win on an oval? I always joked around that people said, oh, you're just a road course ringer. I said, well, I guess that means I don't equally suck at everything. So it's just made it a lot of fun in general. And this organization, Matt Call and Chris Rice and everybody in this organization makes it a lot of fun. So I just enjoy going to the racetrack and knowing that we have a shot to win everywhere that we go.
Thank you. Wishing you all the best for this weekend.
Thank you, man.
All right. AJ, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We wish you the best of luck this weekend in Atlanta.
Thanks for everybody. Thank you, everybody, joining all that you do for us. It makes it a big deal. So thank you.